If y'all was Tisha in this situation and your cousin Keke, or whoever your cousin is, poured a drink in your face, would you have jumped up across that table and got to them? Or ran after them to the yard? Let me know in the comments what y'all would have done if you were Latisha in that instance. Now, I'm not a fighting person. I'm going to say I don't promote violence and all that. I don't. Y'all know I don't do the fighting and all that. But I would have, once you pour a drink in my face, I definitely would have reflexed. I would have reflexed quicker than I knew, okay? No, a drink in your face? No. Keke, you've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. So, hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all, tonight we are talking Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 21, titled Where There's Smoke, There's Marsau. Before we get into anything, please do me the biggest favor and hit that subscribe button. Y'all, we trying to grow this channel, so we need the help of y'all subscribing. Thank you for doing that right now. If you gonna do it or you got to do it, whatever you gonna do, just hit that button. Anyway, also hit the thumbs up button. Thank y'all for doing that as well. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this episode, because this one we got a lot to talk about. And share the video where you like to share your videos. Tag me if you do share the video, by the way. So, first of all, let me say I came to y'all on a Saturday night with Love and Marriage Huntsville, and I don't know how long. I've been doing it Sundays and Mondays, and y'all know I've been gone for the last couple weeks, so I was like, this episode, you know, I'm in town this weekend, I ain't got nothing planned, I'm sitting down, thank God, I want to sit down, and I was like, this episode, I can't wait till Sunday, we got to talk about this tonight, because there's a lot to talk about. Y'all let me know what y'all thought of everything in the comments. I'm dying to know what y'all thought. So, episode basically opens up where they left off with Keke and Melody being messy, okay? And I didn't like this for Mel, because Mel, you supposed to be above the mess this season, and you getting back down in the mess. And you definitely are back to your always the last season of teaming up with Keke to go against Latisha. That's what it's giving. Okay, that's what it's giving. So Keke's over there saying like, yeah, you know, Tisha or Marsau, you know, he's talking about somebody about a three-way in the club, right? And then they're now, that Marriage Huntsville got on my nerves, all this bleeping out. They ain't even making the bleep noises, dogs barkings and dog barking noises and all kind of weird noises. I was like, what is going on? So somebody, allegedly Marsau was fooling with somebody. I don't know if it was supposed to be, I don't know what they're blurping out. So I don't know if it's Tisha's assistant, a publicist, somebody that works with them was allegedly fooling with Marsau. The ex-husband or ex-boyfriend of that person contacted Keke, and he wants to he tried to reach out to Tisha, but Tisha didn't respond. So he contacted Keke, and he wants to tell Keke what was going on. So Tisha, I guess, had an issue and felt like the people around Keke was spreading rumors. So she wanted Keke's person, who they also beeped out, made a noise for. I don't know if it was an assistant or publicist or whatever. Tisha feels like that person was spreading the rumors, right? And so Keke was like, you know, I want to go tell Tisha what is going on, because, you know, allegedly Marsau was cheating with Tisha's person. And so Mel was like, oh, well, you know, did you fire your person? And so Keke was like, no, I didn't. She's like, I'm not about to fire my person. Like, she getting mad at me, but she need to be mad at that person that's, I guess, working with Tisha. And so Keke said that she hit up Tisha and she wanted to have a face-to-face conversation, so she invited her to come over the next day because she needed to tell her, because she felt like she didn't want to be sitting on this information and see her around and not tell her. She felt like it was her duty to tell her. She said that she didn't want to be, you know, seeing her cousin embarrassed on TV and humiliated and all that stuff. And my thing is, Keke, you've made it your mission to embarrass Tisha on TV. When you first came on, was that last season? When you first came on last season as a full-fledged cast member, that was your mission was to embarrass Latisha. When you was down to that little pajama Christmas party with Melody, you was trying to embarrass Tisha. So don't get on here now and tell me you trying not to embarrass Tisha. Are you crazy? So anyway, Mel is talking about, okay, so like, you know, I don't get it. Like, this is a true definition. I'm gonna stick beside her because, you know, Tisha's sticking by whoever allegedly cheated with Marsau. So Mel said, well, let me ask you this. Do you feel like, you know, he had the threesome? So Keke said, no, I don't think, you know, I don't believe that threesome stuff. Then why are you bringing it up? Why is it on the show? Why is it a storyline? To make Marsau look bad, to make up these dumb storylines? Why are you bringing it up if you don't believe it? So then she said, okay, well, what about the whoever they bleeping out cheating with Marsau? She said for that one, she don't know. And so she said, you know, I'm just getting tired of this with Latisha. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. Like, girl, you trying to... Keke feels like Tisha's trying to make it her fault, really, and it's not her fault. She was like, you know, I just want to run up on him and do something to him. And, you know, I'm tired of Tisha. You know, there's only so much I could take. And, you know, she just don't want to know the truth and all that good stuff. And so Mel was like, you know, some people don't really want to know the truth and they have to find out things in their own time. And so Mel did say something about when there's smoke, there's fire, hence the title of the show. And she's like, ain't that what Tisha said when I was going through all my stuff? Ain't that what Latisha said? That's exactly what she said when I was going through all my stuff years ago. Where there's smoke, there's fire. So that's what I'm going to say about her. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I was like, this is so tired. This is so tired. So anyway, I didn't even like this scene, y'all. So then Keke brings up the whole thing with the label. So on the little girls, Tisha, Marsau's daughters, I forgot their names right now off the top of my head. You know how they had their products and they were packaging everything last week. So I guess on their website, on the packaging and shipping information, the return policy, it's exactly looks like the one for Canvas Beauty for Stormi's product. And it even has Stormi's contact information on there. And so Keke said people were contacting her and saying, oh, is Tisha working up under Stormi? Because they have, you know, the same business stuff on the girls' stuff. And so now remember, y'all, I said, and it's no shade to the little girls, I hope their business does well for them. It's nothing against the kids, so please don't say I'm talking about the kids. I thought that their stuff looked like, to me, when I first saw it, like they were putting their own labels on somebody else's product. I don't think it's like a homemade product. Now, it could have been just, you know, whatever generic stuff, because you could get, you know, generic stuff and put your own stuff on it these days. So maybe that's what it is. But at first, when I watched the episode, I was like, oh, well, maybe they did work with Stormi and that's where they got the products from. But as watching the episode, I don't think that's what it was. You know, Keke's talking about that whole thing, and so Mel was saying, oh, that's really funny because Stormi and Marsau had a whole beef at the, you know, the town hall meeting and all that stuff. So Mel did say that, you know, in her confessional that Tisha has known to be a copy and paste person in the past. And they showed a flashback scene. I don't remember what season that was. That had to be season 2, maybe, or 3, when Tisha had that event and she's asking people about being couples in business and stuff. I forgot about that event she had. But y'all see that old confessional look on Mel and how she used to look, she used to dress so much like old lady-ish. It's funny. So, and she was talking about Tisha copying her Embrace logo and all that stuff. And she had the bob wig with the blonde on in the audience and she was yawning. So they flash back to that scene and she's talking about how much Tisha was copying her with everything. She's like, please, girl, get out of my shadow. And so, Mel said in her confessional in this episode that, you know, Stormi is just next to be copied by Tisha. And so then, you know, Mel was like, ooh, as the, you know, ooh, these Huntsville streets got a lot going on, basically. So then, moving forward, we get to a scene with Maurice and Marsau. So Maurice is got a new Jeep for Kimmie. He's at this like auto place, and I guess he's trying to like put extra stuff on the Jeep. And so he wants the tires to be bigger and all this stuff. And he said Kimmie's been wanting a Jeep all this time, last couple years, and he hasn't got her one. But now he realizes, because Kimmie's had her recent health scares, that he doesn't have time on his side. So he wants to make her happy. So Marsau came And so, the Marsau and Maurice are talking. And so he's like, yeah, Kimmie's been wanting a Jeep for all this time. And so Marsau said, Kimmie's Jeep looks good. Like, that's a real Jeep. He says it's better than his Jeep. And so, Maurice wants to get the bigger tires, like I was saying. And I'm guessing they're adding all this, bells and whistles to it. So Kimmie been wanting a Jeep. And so Maurice was trying to get her to get like a Maybach or a Lamborghini, something more luxurious. And she wants a Jeep. She wants a Jeep. I'm like, she wants a Jeep, let her get a Jeep. Everybody don't want a Lamborghini. And so she said she wanted to have the top down and had the wind blowing in her hair. And then Maurice is like, well, she really ain't got that much hair. Marcel's like, don't say that. And it was funny, but too soon. Like, I'm not too sensitive to taking a joke, but if that hurt Kimmie, I would feel bad. And that could be very hurtful to Kimmie. It was very insensitive at the end of the day. It was insensitive. So I wish he did not say that, because I just feel like he's just punching that poor lady. But anywho, so he said, I'm just going to get her. She wants the Jeep. I'm going to get her the Jeep. So then he was like, yeah, speaking of me and Kimmie, so Maurice begins to talk about his sex life with Marsau and how, it went from 3 to 4 times a week to now it's really like twice a month. Marsau said it's confessional that him and Maurice haven't talked about their sex life since they was like 12 years old and lying about who was getting what. Because, y'all know they brothers. So he was like, if I ain't getting none at home, I ain't going to tell nobody. It's going to be my little secret. I was like, I know that's right, Marsau. So Marsau was like, okay, you went from getting it 3 to 4 times a week to 2 times a month. He's like, and you work? He was like, Marsau was like, you was doing real good getting 3 to 4 times a week. Like, you doing better than most married people. He's like, once, twice a month. That's like typical married couples. He's like, welcome to the club. Maurice is like, he don't want to be in that club. And so Maurice brings up how Kimmie said, with the chemo and the medicine, how it's affecting her, sexually. We've seen this already. And so Maurice said, I feel like it's a mental thing. And Marsau was like, really? Like, Maurice, come on. And so now, mind you, Maurice has a back injury from lifting weights, and he's wearing like a brace on his waist. And so Marsau said, okay, what if with your back injury? I said, Maurice, it's not, it's not your back hurting, it's in your mind. But you know that your back is hurting, but I told you it's your mind. Like, how would you feel? Like, if I told you, take off the brace, bend over, and do some jumping jacks because it's just in your mind. And so Maurice took off the brace and bent over. Marsau was like, I don't really want you to do it. But I think that made it click for Maurice. But Maurice knows. Like, Maurice playing in y'all face, in all of our faces. And so Maurice said, he took Marsau's perspective seriously. I'm like, duh. Anyway. Then Maurice brings up the whole thing with the town hall. He's like, oh, I don't feel like it went well. Marsau's like, oh, I thought it was good. And so then he's like, oh, but you and Stormi and Courtney really got into it. He's like, yeah, Stormi wanted to get under my skin, and I wanted to get back under her skin, and it didn't work. And so, Maurice said him and Kimmie are about to have this barbecue. He's going to surprise Kimmie with the Jeep. And he invited Stormi and Courtney, and he wants them to, get outside that town hall meeting environment and have a good time. And so he's inviting them. And so Marsau said, that's fine, but he don't care about them one way or the other. Like, they're cool, but, he thinks maybe they're just not going to get along. They're like oil and vinegar or whatever. And so, or oil and water. So, in his confessional, he said, he does value them as people, but he thinks it just, ran its course. They're just not friends. And he's okay with that. He said he's gone 43 years without being friends with them. He'd go 43 more. I say, oh, all right. So then the next scene we see Stormi and Courtney. Speaking of them, they're at the house. So Stormi did get strep throat. Courtney's bringing her some tea. The strep throat got really bad to the point where she's getting, I believe it's called sepsis. It's basically to shut down your organs and everything like that. And so she was about to go into like a toxic shock. And so luckily she got better, thank God. Yeah, that sepsis is no joke. One of my students had that, but thank God he got better. But anywho, so she was talking about that. She said Keke was like the first person to really check on her. She said hanging out with Keke, she's got to know like how she is, and Keke's cool, Keke's nice. They agree. And so then Courtney brings up Stormi saying that Keke looked like Darkwing Duck. Now that was hollering at that part. So they showed like an old confessional where Stormi was laughing, saying that when she saw the Crime Stoppers, all she could think of was Darkwing Duck. I forgot about Darkwing Duck. So then in the episodes, the current confessional, she was saying like she not talking about Keke or anything. It's just that Crime Stoppers, the image reminded her of Darkwing Duck because of Kiki's outfit and the screenshot. So she was cracking up about that. And so then Stormi brings up the cookout that Maurice and Kimmie are about to have. And so, before she brought that up, she did talk about Tisha and the labeling thing because Tisha texted her, but she didn't text her back. And she said something happened where people were reaching out to her and telling her that, like, whatever was on the girls, Mila and Macy's products, the same return policy was copy and pasted from Stormi stuff. Now, Stormi, I think she said she did that website herself, but it was a long time ago. And so she said they even had the same contact information. And so she said, Stormi said she felt bad and embarrassed for Tisha in that moment. And she said it was on there for a while. And she said people on the internet was dragging it, was spreading it like wildfire. They were dragging Tisha. She said she feels like people on the internet don't like her and it was coming for her. I think there's a lot of people that like Stormi. There's people who still don't like Stormi, but there's a lot of people that like Stormi. I have a love-hate for Stormi. Like, there's times where I love Stormi, and there's those times where I'm like, I don't know Stormi. But overall, she's a good addition to the show, in my opinion. Perfect addition to the show. So, so they talked about that whole labeling incident. We're going to talk about this one more time in the episode, y'all. So, then they talk about the cookout, and so Courtney said he ain't going to the cookout. Stormi's like, come on, you gotta go with me. Come on, like, why you don't want to go to the people or just as a cookout? He said the people. He said he don't like Marsau. He felt like, Marsau be saying, talking too much junk, and he go get into it with him, and he don't want that to happen. He want to put him and Stormi in a bad situation, so he'd rather, like, remove himself from the situation. So Stormi's like, please, like, come on, like, you gotta go. And he's like, nah, he ain't going. She was like, oh, what if Marsau, attacks me or something? He's like, he ain't stupid. He ain't gonna do that. And Marsau wouldn't do that, but I do wish Courtney would have went with her, though. But yeah, he said he ain't going down to the barbecue. He ain't fooling with Marsau and them. So it is what it is. All right. Then the next scene, we see Tisha and Marsau. They're at wherever area the barbershop and Tisha's office is going to be at. That's where they're at. So she said they finally got the plans done, the budget done. They got to build the office for Scott Realty, and she gonna start, having her business popping. I said, finally, Lord, I can't wait to see Tisha's office be done. They building so much stuff at the Scotts. They building the house. They building Scott Manor. They building Tisha office. They building the barbershop. And they stay building. So they talking about the budget, and I guess they gotta break the floor, break up the concrete because Tisha wants plugs in the floor or something like that, which is extra cost, but they gonna do it. And so they trying to figure out the budget because I guess there's 3 different projects right there going on. Because remember, they have like an area on a strip mall, I believe. So then Marsau brings up the whole, they bring up the whole Stormi thing and the cookout. And Marsau said, he ain't really checking for Stormi and Courtney like that. And so Tisha's like, well, maybe, I could help smooth things over, talk. And so he's like, you try, but he ain't really with it. But, Tisha still likes Stormi. So then, Marsau said he's just having one of those days where it just feels like he got to take extra steps. I hate those days. I've been having those days lately. And when stuff just become unnecessarily complicated, you just get frustrated, right? So he said somebody investigated the whole Bet on Black event and said that they would be doing illegal gambling there. And so he's like, he don't even want his business associated with something like that. So he's thinking about just canceling the event altogether. Tisha, that breaks her heart because they put a lot of work into this and they're trying to do something for the community, and it just sucks. They're tired of like the local people hating on what they're doing, and Marsau feels like people are like, trying to nitpick every little thing and dig through with a fine-tooth comb to see what they're really doing and then talk about it. And that's what they're going to do. You're on a reality show. And so Tisha brought up the whole thing with the label. And how, they copied, whoever did the website copy and pasted from Canvas. And so Marsau was like, well, maybe it was like a template or something. So she said as soon as it was caught, and she got all these people, contacting her about it. As soon as it was caught, she contacted him and it was fixed. But at the same time, she got all this backlash about it. And so she said it wasn't up there long. Stormi said it was, so I don't know. Excuse me. So Tisha said, even though it's the girl's business, at the end of the day, this is Tisha's platform. They're not going to come at the kids. Of course, they're going to come at Latisha. So she feels, bad about that. And that does suck because those girls don't deserve to be caught up in that crossfire. They didn't make the website. They barely know how the business works. The parents are just trying to, build something for them and create generational wealth for them. So that does suck that that even happened. And now, that's looking bad on their business and stuff. But they'll bounce back from that. It will be okay. Tisha says she just feels like, everybody's coming at her. Everyone's complaining about something she does. She feels like people look on her for a reason to basically hate on her and talk about her. And they do. Everybody. I look on every time I'm on Twitter and tweeting about the show. I'm only looking at stuff about the show really on Saturdays when the show comes on. Unless I see something in my Twitter home feed. But most of the time, I'll keep up with all the social media BS. But the tweets I do see, people are constantly dragging Tisha for every little thing. And, I'm guilty of making jokes about Tisha as well. But Tisha's not the only one on the show that gets dragged. I think she's gotten it the most because people probably felt like she was the easy target. I mean, they do it to Mel as well, minus the millimeters. Now, the millimeters, they gonna go against everybody real hard, and it's just unnecessary. The one thing about Love and Marriage Huntsville is that the fan base is just so toxic, and it's driven many people away because of all of the toxicity of the show, right? So, but I will say, that people do that to Tisha, and that sucks. And I feel bad for her in that regard. But girl, you gonna be okay. You strong, like you said. And they do it to everybody. They do it to Tiffany. They do it to Stormi. They did it to Destiny. They do it to Mel. They do it to Martell. They do it to everybody. So that just comes with the territory of being on the reality show, unfortunately, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much that on their scene. Yeah, they're going to just, try to, Marsau did try to comfort Tisha and said that, she comforted him when he was going through his stuff. So he did hug her and wipe her tears. So that was nice to see. And she said she's strong, but she's just tired of everybody coming at her. Truth is, she's tired. No, I don't blame her. That's a lot to deal with. And didn't she say she had to turn off the comments at one point so she couldn't see everything y'all be saying about her? Yeah, Tisha, just hold your head up. At the end of the day, you on the platform and we not. At the end of the day, we regular average people sitting at home, scratching and surviving, and you are on this reality show and being fabulous. So don't let the haters get to you, girl. So anyway, he smacked her on the butt on the way out too, and she hit him with a paper. So anyway, next thing we get to finally, y'all, is the cookout, right? So Kimmie and Maurice are throwing this cookout. They try to bring everybody together, hoping that everybody can have some fun with the music and the games and the barbecue, and hopefully everybody will have a good time. They go what happened with the Black Business Expo, and the town hall meeting, and just have some fun. Okay. So they're getting ready, putting hot dogs, hamburgers on the grill. Stormi comes because Courtney drops her off in that gold G-Wagon, wherever they got. And so he said he ain't coming in. So Maurice was like, where's Courtney? Like, where he at? And she's like, no, he didn't want to come. And they was like, cousin Marsau. And she was like, yeah, he didn't really, want to deal with that. And she was like, I wouldn't think like he would let Marsau get to him like that. And so Maurice in his confession was like, all he did was make one joke about him. He called him Mr. Steele, but it was more than that, Maurice. You know what your brother did. Now, I don't think Courtney should have not came because of that. And Stormi did say she felt uncomfortable without Courtney being there because that's like her right-hand person. And she feels comfort with him there. And if I was her, I wouldn't have went without Courtney because I would feel uncomfortable a little bit too because you already knew it was about to go down at the cookout. However, Carlos King said this is an all-cast event and everybody needs to show up. We don't care about Courtney, but we better have Stormi, okay? So Stormi came. She didn't want to talk about, her husband while he wasn't there. Maurice trying to get her to bring him there. She's like, she done with the conversation. Okay. Then I believe we had the Fletchers came. Chris and Nell Fletcher came. And then Mel came. Now, Mel's energy was on 100. She was happy for the barbecue. I was like, why is Mel so happy to come over here for this barbecue? She came in there bippity bopping through the grass, okay? She was ready, okay? She got on a shirt that said, I'm on whatever you on. She asked Kimmie, what are you on? Kimmie said, I'm on the grill. Mel, her confession was like, yes, Kimmie and Maurice is having a barbecue. Honey. Yes, I'm so excited. We're going to have some good food. We're going to dance. We're going to listen to some music. We're going to play some spades. We're going to have a good old time. Yes, I'm ready to turn up. Let's go. And I was like, why is Mel so hyped? And even through the whole event playing spades and stuff. She over there shouting, Chris only got $10. Oh yeah, we gonna get this money. Bring me the money. Yeah. Now, I didn't know, Mel, is she just a serious spades player or was she overdoing it for the event? I don't know, but I was like, why is Mel so hyped for this event? Okay, so then we had Tisha and Marsau came. Who else came? I think, Martell came at one point as well. So when Martell came through, and so he went and said hi to the Fletchers and Stormi, asked Stormi where her husband was. Mel kept playing with the cards. She ignored him. He said, hey, Mel. She said nothing. She paid him dust. In the confessional, Chris Fletcher and Nell Fletcher. Nell had on a whole new confessional look. She had her red dress on. She had her hair whipped. Nell looking all skinny and had her ponytail in. At the barbecue, I said, Nell said, y'all ain't gonna typecast her as the old auntie on the show no more. She came back new and improved this season. So they said in their confessional that, they can understand what Mel and Martell went through. She noticed that Mel paid, Martell dust. And she said there was a time where her and Chris were separated. They never got divorced, but they were separated, and she wasn't talking to him, but she was mad at him as well. And she said she could see both sides, okay? I want to know more about what they went through and how they overcame their relationship. They've talked about it a little bit, but I would like to know, the full story. I know there was some cheating going on as well, which they've admitted to, so we ain't got to say allegedly. All right, so then Keke came in, right? And Keke saying hi to everybody. Jalen was there, by the way. We ain't seen him in a minute. And so when she gets down to the table, she's saying to everybody, hey, girl. Tisha beelined out of there. Somehow she dipped under and got away. And Keke's like, this old dummy girl, cursing and stuff. She's like, look at this girl. Look at her being dumb. And she said something about it in her confessional. Now, this barbecue scene was so planned. Okay, now it was entertaining and I could watch it over and over again and I was laughing, but you could tell that it was definitely planned out. Just by the way it was edited, the moving parts. At one part I saw a producer, by the time Keke was sitting down at the table, I saw, not a producer, when Keke sat down at the table with Stormi, I saw somebody from production with the camera run across the yard. When Keke started getting hyped. So I was like, oh yeah, they was ready for this. They was ready for this. And it just, everybody's demeanor, the way Mel was over excited, I was like, doesn't give that energy like that all the time. So I was like, okay, she's definitely, everybody was ready for this to happen, is what I felt like. Do I think the whole thing was contrived? Like they told Keke pour a drink on Tisha? No, but I think they knew something was about to go down and they kind of planned for that. So, like I said, Keke, she was mad that Tisha ignored her. Tisha said, Keke's still on the same old stuff. They talked about it at the boxing gym, not to be bringing up her marriage, and Keke is still doing that, so that's why Tisha paid Keke dust. So, Tisha went somewhere else, okay? And then Mel was sitting there. Next thing I know, Mel's at another table playing spades with the Fletchers in them. So I was like, that's really weird, because Mel was sitting by Stormi at first when Keke first came. That's the other reason I was like, okay, why did they remove Mel to the other table? Like, come on. So maybe it was like, make sure drink don't get on Mel. I don't know. So I was like, yeah, they didn't chop and screw this all up for us. But it's fine. It was entertaining. So Keke was like telling Stormi, like, girl, did you see how she just shaded me? She's like, let me sit down and tell you what happened. So Stormi's looking like, girl, what the hell is going on? Stormi in her confession was like, she don't know what is going on. Like, she don't know what she done walked into. Stormi looks so dumbfounded, right? So then, so Keke's proceeding to tell Stormi basically everything she told Mel about the girl, and they bleeping out names again. Now, mind you, everybody trying to play this spade game and win this money. Tisha told, we just playing for fun, we ain't doing the money. So as Keke's trying to talk, right, Tisha is constantly over talking about the game. Her and Marsau were a little bit doing it, but mainly Tisha. And she said, Reese, we need some more cards. Reese. And so then, Marsau tells Stormi, hey, can you take out your 2 of hearts and your 2 of diamonds? And so, and count your cards. So Keke took the cards and threw them. Here's your cards. Here's your 2 of diamonds. Here's your 2 hearts. And she said in confessional, like, I'm trying to tell my story, and they over here trying to overtalk me, so we ain't about to be playing cards today. Ain't gonna be no cards over here. I said, Keke, what? Keke over here throwing cards because she want to tell this story this bad to Stormi. Now, mind you, Keke, they're all at the table. They ain't that far apart from each other. And Keke's telling this story as if Tisha and Marsau ain't sitting right there across from them. They just was ignoring the hell out of her, I guess. And so Keke didn't like that. Keke's like, you all about to hear what I got to say. So Keke was saying, you know, I'm tired of running up behind her and trying to give her information. Tisha's still hollering about the cars to Maurice. Maurice, you need some more cars. So then, after Keke threw the cars, Tisha sipped her drink. Because Tisha already knew, like, this girl. Okay, so Tisha was, I thought she was sitting on ready, but she really wasn't. So, Keke proceeds to say, yeah, I'm tired of running up behind this girl. You know, I don't care what it is. I'm tired of bang for everything. I don't care what it is. You can scratch your butt. You can do all this. I don't care. And she pours the drink on Tisha. Now, it was a big drink. It wasn't no little martini splash in somebody's face. It was a big drink. Tisha sat there and said, really, you dummy girl? Now, mind you, after Keke throws the drink, she gets up and shout out to the person on Twitter because they said she stumbled over there to the house. She stumbled over there to the patio area. She stumbled across the yard. And I said, no, not you gonna pour a drink on somebody and run away. Oh, we not doing that. Now, Tisha just sat there. She never jumped up. She better than me. Tisha, you better than me. Marcel's like, oh, hold on. We not about to do that. We not about to do that. You can tell he's talking to the cameraman. So, I mean, good. Would y'all, if y'all was Tisha in this situation and your cousin Keke, or whoever your cousin is, poured a drink in your face, would you have jumped up across that table and got to them? Or ran after them to the yard? Let me know in the comments what y'all would have done if you were Latisha in that instance. Now, I'm not a fighting person. I'm going to say I don't promote violence and all that. I don't. Y'all know I don't do the fighting and all that. But I would have, once you pour a drink in my face, I definitely would have reflexed. I would have reflexed quicker than I knew, okay? No, a drink in your face? No. Keke, you've lost your mind. You've lost your mind. So, Marsau and everybody gets up. Jalen gets up. And Marsau goes with her and they telling Kimmie she just girl just threw a drink into my face. Tisha's like, she needs to go, or we gonna go because this girl threw a drink in my face. Marcel's like, you need to get the F out of here. You need to get her the F out of here because she just threw a drink in Tisha's face. And so he was like, we need to call the police to get her drug tested. We need to call the police to get her drug tested. And I kind of was like, yeah, we do, because this lady done lost her mind. Like, Keke came over there on 100. Keke said, I'm going to make this scene if I don't do nothing else. I didn't understand it. Like, why are you throwing cards, Keke? Why are you throwing drinks, Keke? Like, what is wrong with you, girl? What is wrong with you? And I'm not trying to talk mess about Keke being on drugs, but this scene was giving Keke was on something. She was unhinged. And so then her husband got mad about what Marsau said about her getting drug tested. But you know what? Keke's husband ain't gonna get enough for fighting Keke battles. I'm gonna tell you that. Keke get her husband in a lot of stuff. You could tell it. So then he ready to run up on Marsau. Then it turns into a big old push and brawl thing. And that's pretty much where it left off. To be continued. I think it's what it said. It is. So we're gonna pick up there next week, and somebody was asking, I think Kimmie was asking, do they think Keke's still on drugs? And Stormi like, no, she don't think so, but Marsau was like, I think so. So that's gonna be next week. We're gonna get into that. Yeah, my thing with Keke, I don't care what Latisha did or didn't do or said or didn't say. Alexa, stop. Y'all, my chicken is in the oven. But we at the end of the video, so this worked out perfectly. But Keke was dead wrong. Like, I don't care. Keke was dead wrong. First of all, if Tisha asked you not to bring up her husband and cheating and all that stuff, why are you bringing it up? Then you having this whole little Keke session with Mel being messy. And then you tell her you don't want to embarrass her, but you steady embarrassing her. Then you going to throw cards and pour a drink in her face? Like, Keke can go. And I was like, where somebody called Miss Wanda. Get Miss Wanda down to the barbecue. And y'all crazy. Y'all wanted Miss Wanda off the show. Y'all felt like Miss Wanda was so horrible. But look at Keke. Keke need to be off the show. Keke worse than Miss Wanda. At least Miss Wanda was entertaining. and said funny stuff and had her little one-liners. Keke ain't even entertaining. We can't even figure out if Keke coming or going, if she's still in or not. Oh, they did flash something on the screen, y'all, that said she has still not been charged with anything associated with that Crime Stoppers video. So she good on that part, but we still know Keke been on that stuff, and she looked like she was on it at the barbecue, pouring drinks on people. Like, that's your family. Like, that's horrible. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.